welcome to our session at the conference, and we are going to, we've got three really interesting presentations, and the first presentation is by Na Li, and she is an educational developer, module leader, and technology enhanced learning lead at the Educational Development Unit at the Academy of Future Education at Zhangjiatong Liverpool University. And she's going to be talking about using Moodle for fair and effective project-based learning, a case study in China. Na, why don't you get started? Thanks for joining us all.
Thank you, Gary, for the introduction. I will share my screen now, and I hope everyone can see the slides and can hear me clearly. And also, I will just put the link in the chat and I will refer to it later. Okay, I will make start now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depends where you are now. I'm very delighted to have this opportunity to share our research. And as Gary has kindly introduced, my name is Na Li, and my English name is Lina. I'm an assistant professor of practice, a senior fellow of advanced HE, an educational developer, and a technology enhanced learning lead at Xi'an Liverpool University. On this slide, this is a picture part of my campus, just outside the window of my office. It is one of my favorite views. And I'm also a PhD candidate at the University of Liverpool. The research I will present is part of my PhD research and is co-authored by Dr. Angie Lim, Dr. Mark Leach, Dr. Xiaojun Zhang, and Dr. Penfei Song. Okay, I can see a comment in the chat that people cannot see my slide. Okay, Gary, can I double check with you? Can you hear me? And shall I just continue?
We can hear you and see you very clearly.
Okay, thank you. So I will continue, and for this short presentation, I will cover the 4 aspects of our research. I will first introduce the problem and the phenomenon, and also talk about the methodology, the data analysis, and the results. Sorry that you cannot see the slides, and hopefully later on you can see the slides when we have a technical support. Actually, I prepared a picture. So let's imagine. I prepared a picture of 4 little birds, a mommy bird with 3 baby birds. And the mommy has only got 1 bug to feed 3 babies. So this is relevant to my research, which is about perceptions of justice. So the mommy bird is trying to feed a baby bird named Emmy. Unfortunately, you cannot see my slide, but please imagine. So this little bird named Emmy, she is bigger than another 2 baby birds named Tom and Joe. So it seems unfair to Tom and Joe why mommy is trying to feed a bigger baby rather than the other 2 smaller babies. But that's the phenomenon. And what I want to make here, the point is we might observe something from the phenomenon, but underlining it, which might be the potential reasons that we don't know, and can help us to better understand the true reasons. So that's why we need to investigate and further check the research phenomenon and investigate it with scientific evidence. So on my slides, if you can see, but let me check. Oh, I see the start sharing button again. Let me try start sharing again. Hopefully you can see it now.
Now we can see it.
Oh, great. Thank you. I find it quite struggling to do a presentation without slides. Thank you. So hopefully you can see the QR code, and I have also earlier posted a link in the chat. You can also use that link in the chat to do the voting. We have 3 baby birds, and please vote. What do you perceive, whether it is fair for Tom, Joe, and Amy? And how much efforts do you see for these 3 baby birds? You can do it by dragging the dots on your cell phone or on your computer and then click submit. Due to the time limitation, I'm afraid I cannot leave too much time for this activity. And I will count down by 10, and then we will move on to the next slide. I hope it will be okay with you. Meanwhile, I will quickly check our results. So I will bring the results on the screen. It seems that maybe the share screen cannot let you see another brother. So I will just use the slide and explain it. So I just switch to the next slide, and hopefully you can see it. This is the results, the voting results for Tom. And we can see we have different opinions and perceptions, whether it is fair for Tom and whether Tom has made efforts to bring attention from mommy. And also this is the result for Amy, and this is the result for Joe. So I just want to, through this quick activity, to explain that's a phenomenon we have observed in the educational context, while we are relevant to a big number of students comparing to a smaller number of supervisors. And when we are considering and measuring the perceived justice, people might have different opinions and perceptions towards the same phenomenon, just like this baby bird's family story. I prepared a second question on the next slide, and I just switched. Hopefully you can see it. The next question is, what is the teacher-student ratio in China by 2020? Can you guess? We have 3 options. The first option is 1 versus 21. Second one is 1 versus 15. The third one is 1 versus 30. You can just give us the answer in the chat or scan the QR code to take place. Let me quickly check. Okay. And I will just move the browser here on the screen. And you can see, okay, we got quite a lot of answers guessing the third option, which is not the correct answer, but maybe in future, because the data is by 2020. So the correct answer actually is the first one. Let me switch to the next one. So on this slide, yes, the first option is the correct answer. The Chinese government reported by 2020, there were 2,738 higher education institutions offering education to nearly 42 million students in China. And we have nearly 2 million full-time teachers working at Chinese universities. So the ratio is 1 teacher for 21 students at average. And the 2 million teachers, their experience, personality, and expertise are very different, which might cause a problem. All these problems and the phenomenon has motivated us to conduct the research at an international university in China, which is the university I'm working at. And as an insider, I have the data access, and we investigated a final year project program within the School of Advanced Technology in 2021. The student and the teacher ratio in this program is 8 versus 1, which is better than the national average. But it is still very challenging to make sure over 500 students are satisfied with the fair project allocation outcome. So what is FYP? It is a short for the final year project. Most of the UK system universities have FYP programs, and so does this university because it is a Sino-British joint international university in China. The screenshot here is taken from the module handbook. The final year project is a 2-semester-long project delivered through the module. It is the largest single module for year 4 undergraduate students, which is a major contributing component to the final degree classification. Ideally, students should have equal opportunities to be supervised by their preferred supervisor in a project they have great interest in. But in reality, the time and energy for each supervisor are limited, and the project resources are also limited. Some supervisors might have a good relationship with the industry partners so that their project can provide better opportunities for the students to be able to work closely with famous companies. Some supervisors might have rich research funding to provide more research support. Many research has proven that dissatisfaction caused by project allocation can affect a student emotion and motivation, and lead to lower performance and other negative consequences. So the big challenge is how to allocate the project and supervisor with higher fairness and effectiveness. If we use a first-come, first-served strategy, it is unfair to the students who don't have a quick internet access. So we consulted literature, and the literature showed that a randomized project allocation process could help. So we implemented the randomized project allocation solution. The next question for us is how to evaluate if the solution is fair and effective. Before we go further in any exploration, a literature review is the first important step. We reviewed the literature about project-based learning, automated project allocation, justice theory, equity theory, and social cognitive theory. So what is PBL, project-based learning? It is a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging in a real-world and personally meaningful projects. You can find the two definitions from the literature. And the universities have implemented computer-assisted learning technologies such as automated project allocation to increase learner satisfaction by providing students with adequate and equal learning opportunities to apply multidisciplinary knowledge and solve real-life problems in PBL. The automated project allocation is designed to calculate a fair distribution solution which can automatically assign the limited resources, such as project and a supervisor, to a large group of students considering their personalized preferences on project selection. However, students' perceptions of justice varied, and complaints about potential justice-related issues continued. Although the technology is quite advanced and the automated project solution worked quite well, but students still complaining about the perceived justice issues. So we consulted the justice theory and examined the students' perceived justice with 3 dimensions, which is procedural justice, distributive justice, and interactional justice. For the third dimension, which is interactional justice, it is more focused on the communication between supervisor and the students. But our research focus is on project allocation, so we did not focus on the third dimension. We just focus on the first two dimensions in our research. And we also reviewed the equity theory. You can find more details from this slide, which is from Adams and Leverhulme from their equity theory. And we also consulted the UNESCO Handbook on Measuring Equity in Education. Finally, we reviewed the social cognitive theory as it is closely connected with project-based learning. Self-efficacy as a core concept of social cognitive theory has been further investigated in our research. Through the literature review, we identified two research gaps. First, the existing scales are not adequate for the measurement in a project-based learning context. Second, the role of self-efficacy in the justice measurement is unclear, especially in the education context. In the second section about methodology, I will quickly introduce the research context, research questions, and our research design. I hope the slides are showing okay.
The slides are fine. You've got about 5 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. This is a screenshot of the Moodle-based VLE system that our university used. We call it Learning More. And due to the time limitation, I will be quicker for the coming slides. We integrated this Moodle plugin called Fair Allocation to support the automated project allocation. As I mentioned earlier, this research focused on the project allocation, which is a planning stage. And this is a workflow of our automated project allocation. Again, due to the time limitation, I won't spend too much time explaining this workflow, and I will just jump to the later on data analysis and results, giving 5 minutes. And we conducted the research in 3 phases to explore the factors, effects, and reasons that affect students' perceived justice in automated project-based learning. And we tested 3 hypotheses based on this conceptual model that assumes self-efficacy might influence students' perceived procedural justice, distributive justice, and learning equity. We employed quantitative factor analysis methods and qualitative content analysis methods in our research. And we administrated an online survey with 537 students who used the automated project allocation solution. The factor analysis helped us to identify the structure of the observed data and understand underlying constructs of the phenomenon. And we conducted focus group interviews with 10 students and analyzed the open-ended survey question responses using the content analysis method. So as a result, we developed a new scale to measure student perceived justice in automated PBL context. And we proposed a new conceptual model in which self-efficacy predicts students' perception of justice with strong and significant statistical associations. We suggest that investigating the role of self-efficacy in justice measurement for technology-enhanced learning is an interesting and promising research direction for future development. This is a list of the references. And thank you for your attention. Apologies for the beginning of the technical issues. I hope this presentation it can be useful, and I'll be looking forward to connect with you. And you can find my email address on the screen. You're also welcome to scan the QR code to add friends from the ResearchGate. Thank you again for your attention, and I'm not sure whether we have time for questions. Thank you.
We do have some time. If there are, you did a great job of finishing within 5 minutes. Are there questions? There's nothing in the chat at the moment or the Q&A.
Thank you, Gary. And
so I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say, everyone feel free to contact me by email me. Here is my email address.
So I guess I have a question if we have a minute or two and no one else has one. And I'm just wondering, I think you may have covered this early in the presentation, how the student dissatisfaction with the allocation process first came to your attention.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. That's a great question. Yeah, that's also one of our motivation. As I mentioned, I'm an insider. I'm an educational developer. So my daily job is to support teachers to use technology and enhance students' learning satisfaction. So this problem has come into our view because we used to use a manual allocation procedure. And in a manual procedure, students complained that the procedure is not transparent. And also the results are usually, if they have a closer personal relationship with the supervisor, then they will be allocated to a good project, something like that. So we plan to have an automated solution to solve the problem. But later on, after we conducted the survey with students, we realized that student satisfaction, although it is increased, but we still have a small group of students complaining about the project allocation results. So that's why we investigated whether self-efficacy is playing a critical role in this phenomenon. I hope I have addressed your question.
Yeah, so it sounded like, initially there were some student complaints and then you made some adjustments and some of the student complaints got resolved, but others didn't. And then, so have you changed now the allocation process based upon your findings around self-efficacy?
Thank you. Yes. We have made suggestion to the university, for example, for the technology design. It is an open sourced plugin. So we have customized the functionality to provide more detailed information for students to easier understand what are the projects available for them to provide convenience. And on the other way, for self-efficacy, we suggested the university to consider to provide processional programs for the year one students and help them to develop their self-efficacy in managing a research project. And in that way, to improve their satisfaction of the project allocation, because we found, for example, students who have the higher level of self-efficacy, they don't care which project has been allocated as a result, because they are open to do any challenging projects. They are confident in their capability to handle these challenges. So that's why we think it is important to develop students' self-efficacy. So that's what we did so far, and we will make further development in future. Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, thank you very much. I think we're at the time where we're going to go on to the next presentation. And thanks also for providing the information for folks to contact you and follow up. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary, and thank you, everyone. I hope everyone will enjoy the remaining session.
Take care.
Thank you.